there is modeling chocolate, and on top I have covered it with fondant. So this inside this first I created the whole bulk with modeling chocolate, including the hair and all. And then on top of that I covered with the fondant, and then just with a modeling tool I just sort of accentuated everything. Superb. This is C Deco. C Deco fondant. Alright, so how many of you have tried airbrushing before? Actually, you haven't tried it. Okay. How many others have tried? What are the normal challenges that you face with airbrushing?
I'm not happy with for cream cakes. With cream cakes,
Okay.
hi guys. Anybody has
Right.
client happening on their phones? Any signals? Yes, you gave me last time also because my phone is not working on live. So I'm
Oh,
here at the Fab stall with Gauri Cake Tray and all the lovely bakers here who want to come and know how Gauri is going to teach us
airbrushing.
airbrushing on this beautiful. Gauri, can you lift it a little? On this beautifully done piece. Right now you can see the line is looking so beautiful, but I know that with the touch of her coloring and the features are going to get enhanced. and
Enhanced, yes.
It's going to become even more beautiful.
Thank you.
So, so this is one of the workshop that one of the demo that she's going
Right.
to give, and the next one is Gauri. After this,
After this, I'm going to show hand painting on a small panel using Evaporex and petal dust colors.
okay. So now I'm saying hi to my audience who are looking at us, the live audience, and I wish you guys were here. And sorry you are missing out on good fun that we are going to be having here and a lot of
Right.
learning that we are going to be having here. But hopefully we'll be able to put up some videos of all the airbrushing
Hopefully,
techniques
yeah.
this time, and you'll be able to catch up on what Gauri has to teach you
Yeah.
and learn a lot from her. Okay, so guys, bye. You want to say bye to your audience?
Bye.
Bye. We are having loads of fun now, and bye, guys. So guys, now I put you on to Gauri, and she will be doing all the demo. Do you need any raised platform?
No, no, no.
Any
I'm
cake
good. I'm good.
stand?
No, no, no.
Nothing, no?
Nothing, nothing.
Gauri, this
This.
Anu. He's
Hi.
here to help you.
Okay.
आप,
Okay.
उसके बाद अगर
Yeah, yeah, sure, 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 sure. Okay.
Anu,
All right. So you said for whipped cream you have issues. Okay. I'll at the end of this demo I'll give you some tips and tricks of how to do airbrushing on a whipped cream cake. Okay. Uh, Number one, there are several different ways of airbrushing, several different colors for airbrushing with. Number one is if you use direct airbrush colors. So they come in a bottle, you take them, you shake it up, you put it in your airbrush and you start using. But for home bakers like us who do not airbrush all the time, not for all cakes, we cannot have like a range of airbrushing colors because they come quite expensive. So earlier I used to make do with using vodka and my gel colors. I used to mix them up together and I used to use them to do airbrushing. But there was that one little issue that if my client turns out to be someone who does not use alcohol or does not want alcohol even touching the cake, in that case vodka did not become a viable option. So that's when Evaporex stepped in because this is non-alcoholic and it dries really fast. So all your airbrushing ke liye, you get the wetness, you try with Evaporex, the wetness reduces like anything, okay. So it actually, you just airbrush it and you keep it under fan or something and it will dry up in like 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes the entire thing is dry, okay, which is why this really works well even for whipped cream cakes. You might have seen one of my whipped cream cakes which I had recently airbrushed. It was a Motu Patlu cake, and I had done the grass work with airbrushing, okay. So that also like dried within 5 minutes. I had used airbrush mixed with gel color. I had used Evaporex mixed with gel color, and that's how I had airbrushed it. So you can do fine detailing and you can do the overall coverage also. Even if you would see most of my gold covered cakes, the cakes which have gold covering, mixed Evaporex mixed with gold dust. Okay, so they work really well. Evaporex works really well mainly because in airbrushing the number one thing you want is that your color should dry fast. If you airbrush wet on wet, what happens? Has anyone tried that?
Lines.
Right? It starts first. If you do a little bit of wet on wet, it will start giving you droplets. Okay, you see droplets accumulating on your cake, and if you continue airbrushing on that, there's one streak coming down and it spoils the entire look, and there's very little you can do to correct it. Okay, which is where this comes in very handy, because by the time you're done with one section of your cake, you're doing the other section of your cake, the first section is already dry and done. Okay, so let me start first with the parts of an airbrush. So you guys must be using Art Master or Baker's Will, which are also good brands. इसके अंदर एक compressor होता है, okay, and there's one tube which connects it to the airbrush. Now in your case, I don't know, you may have to attach the tube directly. This one comes with this kind of an attachment, so this, it doesn't get loose ever and it doesn't have that kind of snapping wala effect. But this is a little expensive airbrush. The whole kit comes for like 8,500 or something. It's an expensive airbrush, but if you're going to invest once in a good airbrush. Number one thing for good airbrushing. Okay. This is the reservoir. The top part is the reservoir. It comes with a cap. So whatever color you're using, always use a cap on top, because what happens if I'm doing this, if my cup is full or at least halfway full and I'm doing this vigorously, you're at the last minute ho raha hai, client is going to come and sometime you have to keep the cake ready, cake jane wala hai, and you do quickly and then what happens, it just spills over. So always use the cap on top of your reservoir. In that case, you can put a little cling film or something. Okay, just put a cling film and if possible a rubber band on top so that it doesn't spill, because that's a very common problem, that when you're airbrushing, if you don't have that, if you're working with a lot of speed, and I work with a lot of speed, I cannot work very slowly. So then that happens. With me, it happens quite often that if I don't have a cover, it tends to fall, right? The needle that I was talking about, you have to open the back. This is the needle. It comes out from the tip like this. Can you see that? Okay. You can see that at the tip, the opening is really microscopic. You try to push a dust color through this tip, it's not going to come out. It's going to give you a lot of trouble. So you just open the screw a little bit and pull it back by about 1 mm. Shut it tight again and then close it. It's only for gold and silver. For rest, all colors, for gel colors, airbrush colors, you're going to put it completely till the tip.
So when you make gold dust and evaporate, do you still need to put it?
Yes. That's not because of Evaporex, it's because of the gold dust. Dust colors have particle sizes, they are particles. So they are going to have big sizes and they are not going to pass properly through the very microscopic gap that is there over here. It opens up. I'll show you. See, right now the needle is completely pushed. Okay, you can see that it covers that circular opening completely. It's tightly packed. Okay. Now when I pull it back, Do you see the circular opening has opened up?
थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता
थोड़ा बड़ा हो जाता है. That is enough for your gold dust.
है. Let me see.
But with any other color, the whipped cream will tend to dilute the color after some time. Alright. So let's start with this lion cake. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to need three kinds of colors. I'm going to need a little bit of yellow color first, a little hint of yellow misting. Then I'm going to need a little mixture of yellow and brown. And last mein, I'm going to give some detail with black. Okay. So how we're going to proceed is, first, before you do anything, you have to block out the areas which are not going to be colored. Okay. So those areas you can either use a piece of fondant, a scrap piece of fondant that you may have. We always end up with scraps. I usually keep them in an airtight container, and when I have to airbrush or use something like this where I want to block out a piece, I usually take one of those, keep it lightly on top, and then I airbrush on top of it. Can I have a scissor or something? Lightly is also fine. You just have to hold it and then airbrush around it. Okay. Cling film doesn't stick to dried fondant, so that is a little bit of an issue we have. कि airbrush करने के time पे because of the air force it tends to just blow away. Using scrap piece of fondant helps in this kind of case. क्योंकि scrap piece of fondant को आपने अगर ऐसे रखा तो वो airbrush के speed से it's not going to get blown off. Just place it, yeah, lightly. No using glue or anything. Just place it lightly wherever you want to block out and then start airbrushing. I am blocking out the eye because I am going to hand paint it later. I don't want to airbrush it. I am going to hand paint it with detailing later. This won't stay chill, I will just anyway use it. Forget it. So first I'll start by using my light yellow color. I'm going to take one drop of color in the reservoir first. Okay. Then I'm going to add just a few drops of Evaporex first. If you add too much of Evaporex in the beginning, what happens is it doesn't mix up properly. It gives you globules which can block your airbrush. Very important if you are mixing your colors for airbrush, very important to make the, see it's a very thick consistency color, right? It's very thick consistency color. So what I need to do is, first I need to put a couple of drops, 1 or 2 drops, and use a clean brush to first lighten the color. If you see right now, first of all it doesn't mix up well, it acts like, it makes some globules. See that? तो अगर बहुत ज़्यादा आपने Evaporex पहले ही डाल दिया तो it's going to leave those globules, very small globules which can potentially block your airbrush. So you need to first mix a small amount and make the color a little light. Alright, can you see it now? Okay, the colors become more liquidy consistency now. Now I can add a little bit more of the Evaporex, so it mixes better. And if you still see any globules, you can, it's ideal to strain once. Using a chalni or a strainer, tea strainer, you can just strain the color once before you use it. I don't have it, so I'm going to just use the top part of it. Alright. Keep a tissue paper also close by, because you will need to wipe your hands and all every few minutes. With airbrushing, before you start airbrushing on cakes, practice a couple of times on a piece of paper. Just put a piece of chart paper on a background somewhere and sit down and practice making lines, straight lines, standing lines, wavy lines, you know. पास से करो, detailing करना चालू करो, फिर दूर से लेके try to cover an entire area uniformly, not patchy appearance. Try to cover uniformly. Then you start airbrushing on your cake. And whenever you're doing, especially on whipped cream cakes, never directly start by pulling the trigger on the cake. Always take a piece of tissue paper or a paper, उसके ऊपर चालू करो and then move on to the cake. You start directly on the cake, what happens? Not just patch. With whipped cream, what happens? It blows out. It blows out. It's cream, it's air. Right? You put air in a blast on your cake, it's going to blow out your cream. So always start on one side and then you take it on your cake. Okay? Now with this yellow color, I want a uniform coverage. I don't want to give detailing. I want to give a uniform coverage pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to start from far. For a uniform coverage, you must start from as far as you can. That's Evaporex. Very little. Okay, how? No, that's fine. Can you just give me a tissue paper out of this? How much and how far you hold the trigger will also determine whether you get straight lines or a uniform coverage. So if you hold the trigger very close and very slight, you will get a straight line. Can you see that? Yeah. This is called control over your airbrush. For this I am saying first practice. Okay? Practice doing straight lines, practice doing wavy lines. And if I do it from far, you pull the trigger further away and you take the airbrush far, you will get a uniform coverage. You bring it closer and you pull the trigger very slowly behind, just like about half a millimeter, 1 millimeter, and you get lines. So this is how I said how you can control the flow of your airbrush. having the lid on gives me that freedom that I can actually turn my when I'm doing for the face, I want to do a little bit more controlled airbrushing. I don't want to just airbrush in a huge speed everywhere because I don't want it going over the eyes. I don't want it to look patchy. So I just go over it slowly wherever I want it to. And keep moving your airbrush. Don't keep it steady in one place for very long, or you will have those droplets. Alright. So this is my first coat of the yellow color.
Next time you don't get the right color that you want. But after using, before storing your airbrush, always just keep your finger at the top and press on your face. Can you see the bubbling happening here? It just agitates any color globules inside that will back up. And before using the next color, take a tissue paper. And check once if your airbrush is clean or not. Once it is starting coming clear, that means you can see how much color still there even when the reservoir looks clean. See? Now it's starting. Can you see now the clear color?
Color to your yellow color. The lion face is not exactly yellow, it's not exactly brown either, it's somewhere in between. Okay, so when you're not sure about the colors, this is where your Evaporex and gel colors come very handy, because you can actually mix the colors and you can test the colors before using. You buy an airbrush color, you don't know what the color is going to actually be like. You take it and you start spraying and you feel, okay, this is not the color that I wanted. Mixing it also means that you may have to mix in different quantities, and then that goes waste. If you don't get the right color, it can go waste. Okay, and that is an expensive color to go waste. So this is where this really comes in handy. So I am going to add, and this is why I brought my Wilton color also today, so that you can see that it works just as well with any gel color. No, I have not used Evaporex mixed with Sugarine abhi tak. Yeah, they are pretty thick. I have not used them abhi tak, so I can't be sure. See what happens if you have too much of what do you say, Evaporex first and then you add the gel color, you get those little globules at the bottom. You can see them from here. You get those little globules at the bottom. Okay? See, globules at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay? This is why you should add 1 or 2 drops first and then. But already since I had the yellow color in it, so this is why I just added it directly. Pink. I want a very light baby pink. If I have taken accidentally too much of pink color and less of Evaporex, I'll end up with a darker pink color. Okay, and once that dark pink color is on your cake, you can't undo it. So always test it before you start airbrushing with it. Take a scrap piece of fondant or a little bit of whipped cream which you have already used. I'm sure everybody ends up with a small spare amount of whipped cream. Just spread it on a plate and then airbrush on top of it to see what the color looks like once you have sprayed it. Okay, don't directly go about. This looks like a good color, but before I start airbrushing onto the lion face, I'm going to take a little quantity. First, check what color I'm getting. It's more yellow and less brown, if you can see. So I need to add a little bit more brown to this before I start using it. See this? Now you won't get the globules. See how it mixes well. First take the color, add a little few drops of Evaporex, few drops first and mix it well. Then you add more Evaporex to dilute it. See this? No globules in that color now. Right? A better brown. Okay, a better color now. Alright, I think I need a little bit more brown on this.
Anything for testing and all?
What?
Paper.
I have it, I have it. I want you all to touch the surface, side surface right now to see that it is completely dry already. If it was vodka, it wouldn't have dried so fast. Just come one by one closer to it and just touch the side surface a little bit. Yeah? Hi! Thank you. Yeah, no need to put it off. With your Art Master with that nebulizer compressor, if you keep it on like this, it tends to vibrate off the table. Have you seen that happening with your, it tends to vibrate off the table. What I do is I keep a silicone mat under it. Then it stays in one place. Otherwise it just keeps falling down. With this there is no such problem. This has a little rubber stops underneath, so it stays in place. Yeah, much better color. Alright, so once again, I'm going to keep this piece on the front part of the face and okay. I don't want the entire face as a uniform brown. So I'm going to build up the color slowly. Wherever you have gaps and recesses, depths, I'm going to give a little bit more color, a little closely, a little defined color. Everywhere else where there's a plain surface, I'm going to spray from a little far. You see the color now? Just compare it. The previous yellow one and the color that I have just given. Okay? Just going to point your nozzle always in the direction of where you're going to airbrush. If I want to airbrush in this location and this location only, I'll not airbrush like this. Because what will happen? The color is going to go all over the face and the eyes. So wherever I want, this is the advantage of having a lid. That if I want to airbrush only in this area, I can absolutely hold it vertical in this area and then airbrush. And also one more tip which I am not doing here, but if you are using airbrush for the first time and if you tend to be clumsy, like I sometimes am clumsy, I tend to drop things, it always helps to hold it like this. So that even if हाथ से फिसल भी गया, वो नीचे नहीं गिरेगा. Because नीचे गिरा तो आपका airbrush can get damaged, alright? Go slowly, airbrushing, just like painting, needs time and patience. If you are airbrushing from closer to the cake, less pulling back of the trigger. What will happen if I am, say this is your cake surface. If I am airbrushing from very close and I have pulled the trigger back completely, what is going to happen? This is called spider legs. Very common problem with airbrushing beginners. You tend to take it very close to the cake and you pull the trigger back completely. The color pools in one place and then starts spreading out. Because of the air pressure, the color starts spreading out in a lines, radiating lines. These are called as spider formations. Okay, very common problem with using airbrush. So if you're going to airbrush from very close to the cake for giving detailing or something, pull the trigger back only by about 1 or 2 mm. Now this, like I said, it takes practice. You cannot do this directly on your cake. Always practice on a piece of paper before you start doing it on your cakes. He likes the airbrush ka smell, the Evaporex ka smell, I suppose. I'm just going to raise it up for all of you to see before I move on to the face. Okay? Now this is where I will move on to the face, because now the face is looking yellow. I don't want it to look yellow, I want it to look brown. In lions there is a little patch just under the eye which is white. Okay, so this is where control over your airbrush is necessary, so that you can give that little white shading. Okay, so that comes with practice. And whenever you are doing somebody's face or something, especially animals, do not give a uniform patch, give shades. So whenever you are doing an animal face or anything that involves a face, do not give a uniform color, give shades, give dark areas, give light areas, because that will bring life to the faces. If you paint everything, it kind of reminds you of drawings that you made as a child in school. When you wanted to do a human, you just took that light pink human color, flesh color, and then you just painted the whole human with it. It looked like a pink doll. I remember I used to always draw hands like this. I couldn't draw hands like that. Anyone was like that? मैं जब बचपन में human drawings करती थी in school, we had those, you know, child playing in rain, children playing in rain. The umbrella always used to be like this. Well, I couldn't, for the life of me, make the umbrella like this. I couldn't show how the hand is going to come like that and the umbrella is going to come in the hand. So, but we used to do it that way. We used to take a single color and we used to paint the whole thing, and it looks very flat. It doesn't look like it has life at all. It looks kiddish. Okay? So, when you're doing it for your cakes, even if say you're doing like a cake which has, say, supposing a night sky or a galaxy kind of a look, do not just give a uniform blue. It doesn't look real. Give shades. Give a little bit of flourish with a darker blue color. Give a little lighter blue color shade somewhere. That actually brings out the whole sky kind of atmosphere. Okay? In what? Okay, if you want to do shadings, hi. If you want to do shading on a round cake, if it's covered with fondant, say not shading, but I want to give a silhouette. What I will do is I'll take a printout of the silhouette that I want and I'll cut it on a piece of paper first. Either on a piece of paper or on a sheet of acetate paper or your OHP sheet. And then with a little shortening, I'll first stick it where I don't want the color to be. Got it? I'll just show you an example of what I mean. So say, halaki this is not the right surface, but say this is a cake and I want to create a pattern. Say I want to create this kind of a pattern on my cake. This I want to remain as white or black or as however I want it to be. Okay, and around it I want the color to come. So I'll just hold this. यानी आप केक के ऊपर इसको शॉर्टनिंग से लगाओगे क्योंकि डायरेक्टली रखोगे तो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू स्टे इन प्लेस. एंड देन when I airbrush around this and afterwards I take it out. Control. On whipped cream you cannot place anything. Practically, it will ruin the finish of your cake. So if you want to do it on a whipped cream, you have no other option but to have control over your airbrush. For fondant, you can use this technique where you want to do clouds or something. So you keep a cut work of cloud and you airbrush blue around it. When you take it off, that cloud part looks white, everything around looks blue. Alright? If you see, I have airbrushed it just 2-3 minutes ago. But if you touch it here, just touch it. Is it wet or is it dry? This is because we are using airbrush, the Evaporex. Then, like the name suggests, it really evaporates fast. It makes my airbrushing faster than if I were to use vodka. If I were to use vodka, at this point I would absolutely have to stop for it to dry for some time before I start airbrushing again. Otherwise it will lead to droplets. When you do wet on wet, it's going to leave droplets and it's going to pool. The color is going to pool in a particular area, which is why working with Evaporex just speeds up my work. Alright? Alright? Still this is not complete because I need to airbrush with a little bit of mixture of brown and black. It's not exactly black. In nature you will never really find black colored anything. Black color is basically an absence of color, and in nature there is no thing which does not have color at all except the black hole which is out there in the universe somewhere. Okay, so everywhere, wherever you're going to use black, always use a little bit of brown also. Always, otherwise it looks flat, it doesn't look natural, it looks evil, sort of. Okay, now we'll mix up. I have some brown in this. I'm going to just add some black color to this itself. I call these warriors' wounds. For us cakers, this is always there on our hands, always, some color. Especially if you've been working with red or royal blue, it's always going to end up on your hand somehow. I almost don't want to go to parties. I always invariably end up going to parties looking well dressed top to bottom and colored hands. And everybody will ask me, what happened to your hands? I'm like, nothing, just cake. That's what happened. Now I don't want my black color to be very liquidy, because I need to do fine detail work with it. If I make it very liquidy, what is going to happen? If I try to airbrush a small area, number one, it will look grey, it will not look black. And second thing is, if I do too much, it's going to pool up in one spot. So at this point where I want to give details, minor details with some color, I'm going to keep it a little thicker, little bit, not very thick, but not as thin as I was using the yellow and the brown. Just rings in my ears. Okay. Okay. Before you start with any new color, the old color has to cleared off. हालांकि इस केस में we can get away with it because the colors are basically complementing. It's going to block it for the future use. And that's why the problems, people tell me after using airbrush, why am I having spitting? What is spitting? You get drops coming out from your airbrush. So instead of spraying a uniform film of color, you get a film of color and then drops on top of it. That's called spitting. Spitting happens if you haven't cleaned your airbrush well in the past. You have to open the airbrush components and you have to clean it thoroughly, but you don't do it yourself. You can give it to the person who you bought it from. He will get it cleaned for you. He'll get it serviced for you. Basically, if that is happening, it means it needs servicing. Now, I don't want the black all over the face. I just want it in few areas. Where do I want it? A little bit around the eye, a little bit on the nose. Halaki the nose is a little pinkish in this area, so I don't want the entire nose to be black, but these grooves are where the black is going to be. A little portion of the eye, the outline is going to be black, and the hair, the tips of the hair, not the entire hair, but some tips and some deep shading. So, am I going to spray it from far and pull the trigger back completely? How am I going to spray it now? Closer and slowly. The trigger has to be moved back only partially. And when you're doing things like this, it is better to sit down and not break your back. If you stand and do this, eventually what happens is you do this and beach mein kutta ho jata and you end up spraying everywhere. I have made the line at least 3 to 4 times by now. When you're doing it for the first time, any new cake for the first time, even if I'm doing a new cake for the first time, I'll always have pictures of it in front of me when I'm working. Don't do it in guesswork. I'm doing it right now out of my memory because I've already made it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I've seen your cakes.
But when you make it for the first time, always keep references in front of you. Don't just go randomly.
The BJP politician somehow.
My family has started joking now. Next time I think they are going to want the walking line. First they wanted just the face, then they wanted the sitting line. Now they are going to show the walking made in India ka logo. You know that line? I was surprised because they always want a lion only. They don't want any other thing. I told them I have so many other designs. I can make so many other things. Why only lion? BJP. We want a lion. Alright, so when I'm doing shading and detail work, I want to go as close to the cake as possible and pull the trigger back very slowly. Only then I'll get the shades.
Can I disturb you for a
Yeah,
There are some people asking for your cards now.
I will. I Alright. This thing takes control. It takes control over your airbrush. Nose.
Not had any kind of brown.
No. They are not brown actually. Lions are never actually brown. They are yellowish brown. Golden yellow brown.
So you will be just doing the eyes and the
Alright. Okay. If you're using liquid color and you want a lighter shade, dilute it. Yeah. With Evaporex. I'm using Evaporex here. Water के साथ में if you're using airbrush colors with water or rather any airbrush with water based things, it's not going to dry. On your whipped cream cake, it's not going to dry. It's going to cause droplets and it's going to come down in droplets. Use gel color mixed with Evaporex and then you use it. Yes, if you dilute it more, it will give you a light color. If you dilute it less, it will give you a darker color, just like this. Right? When I was doing the lemon yellow, you guys were there, you saw I diluted it a lot and it gave me a uniform lemon yellowish color. Later, when I used black, I used a thicker consistency and it gave me enough thick consistency and dark color for giving the detail work, finer detail work. Alright, clear everyone? So now for the eyes, oops, that happens, I'm that clumsy. So now I'm going to paint the eyes and the nose, okay. When you're doing hand painting on anything, whether you're doing on a fondant plaque or on a, what do you say, a sculpted cake, bust cake. Use petal dust colors mixed with Evaporex or vodka if you're using vodka. But I prefer Evaporex because it dries up faster. Sugar flare. I use sugar flare every time. Okay. And I've forgotten to get the brown, so I'm going to just use the brown gel color in this case. When I want to dilute it with white, when I want to make a color for hand painting, not for airbrushing. Whenever I want to get a lighter shade of the color, if I want to add white in any form in the painting, I use powdered white color. This is titanium dioxide. Okay, this is what I use. It comes in powder form, so it dries faster. What happens when you use the white Americolor or white gel color, it tends to be very liquidy. When you're trying to dilute something, it tends to liquidize your color, not just make it lighter but also liquidize your color, and it doesn't dry fast, especially when you're doing detail work like in the eyes, it doesn't dry fast. This is where your powder color comes in very handy because it ends up drying your color very fast. Anywhere you want to get something like if you're making gum paste and you want it to be more platinum white, you just add titanium dioxide. Any food thing you want it to make it whiter, add titanium. White color, Americolor, आप जहाँ जहाँ use करते हो वहाँ पर you can use this. Absolutely in anything. I've used it in modeling chocolate, I've used it in ganache, I've used it in fondant, I've used it in gum paste, I've used it practically everywhere. It works well. Very small quantity will give you a lovely bright color. It is food safe. It is food grade basically. Left it open, within half a day it was half gone. It's Evaporex. The name should have struck me, right? Brushes. Now one thing I'd like to just say to everyone, I'm not sure how you all clean your brushes. Please don't put it down at the bottom and do khachar, 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 khachar. Oh my god. It annoys me to no end when somebody just does this and then khachar khachar niche. It destroys the bristles. Always take it to the side and wipe it against the wall. And gentle wiping. Okay? Whatever excess color you may have, your bristles remain in good condition for a long time. Camlin. Regular brushes. Right?
Not in the brushes, it's in the hand.
And even when you're taking color with your brush, always take it gently. I'm not going to need more than this much. I'll add a little bit of white on the side. Alright, I have my light brown color. Now remember, when you're painting animal eyes as opposed to human eyes, what's the biggest difference? That's one, but that's not the biggest difference if you're painting an animal eye as compared to a human eye. What is the biggest difference when you're making an animal, say a cow? what is the difference between a cow's eyes and our eyes?
The eyeballs are bigger.
Eyeballs are bigger.
The black part is bigger. As in the black part.
The cornea,
Yeah.
okay, or the brown part of the eye or the darker part of the eye, it fills up the entire socket. You very barely see the white portion at all, whereas when you're doing it for humans, you see a lot of white on either sides. This is the biggest difference between an animal's eye and a human eye. Hi. This is the biggest difference when you are painting a human eye as opposed to an animal eye. Okay, small things, but you need to keep it in consideration. So I am going to paint almost all of his eye with brown, leaving only very minute amount of white on the very corners. It's so dry, it evaporates this fast that I mixed up the color and by the time I was done painting itna, my brush ke upar dry ho gaya color. Always whenever you're painting, hand painting, support your hand. Don't do this, you'll end up messing up. And one more thing, whenever you're hand painting, especially very fine detail work that needs to be precise, it helps if you hold your breath. When you're painting, if you tend to breathe when you're painting, your hand tends to move and shake. Hold your breath for a few seconds while you're finishing that painting. Small tip, nobody will tell you because most people don't realize they're doing it. Most people who do a lot of painting work, they don't realize that they hold their breath when they do the finer parts. And that is why they're not able to tell their students. So this is one thing I noticed, that when I was doing this, I was holding my breath. Once I finished the detail, I'm like, okay? So hold your breath for some time when you're doing the detail work. I'll first paint the lightest brown color for the eye. To start with, the lightest brown color and then we build up the color as we go. Alright, so first I gave an entire coloring with the light brown, then I'll mix up a little darker brown color and give the outline, okay. Always remember in the eyes, if I were to see somebody's eye close up, the top half appears to be darker than the lower half. The top half, it's not actually darker, but because of the way the light falls on the eye, the top half of the eye always appears darker than the lower half. So I like to do a little down shading. I just don't paint half, I don't paint like a hemisphere of half. I just pull the color down with my brush like this. Compare this with the other eye. Compare with the other eye. Okay. So always just paint the outline first. And pull the color down till half mark. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of the white, just plain white in my brush, and I'm going to color the lower half of the eye with the white. In lines, not in a single stroke, not in a single stroke, not like painted. It has to be in lines, it has to be graduating.
Okay, the strokes are down to up.
Yes. And then finally I will give the pupil. In case of lions and tigers and cats, feline creatures, even canines, it's going to be round. It's only going to be a elongated standing line in case of
Cat.
not even in cat. It's not elongated and straight. Never. Snakes, reptiles. It's going to be standing elongated. Whereas is it going to be horizontal? Only in one type of creature. Is it horizontal? Anyone? Goats. Okay. In goats, it's always hada. So for that, I'm going to take a little bit of black color, and don't paint unless you're doing a very small figurine. Don't paint a block circle, like a plain circular thing for the pupil. Unless you're doing a very small figurine where you can't humanly give that much detail, don't paint just a circle, block circle. It's always a block circle followed by a little shading on the sides. If you give a block shading, it will look like a cartoon. Okay. And this very important when you're painting. Keep it in front of you and make sure both are in the same position.
It will become kana.
Otherwise, ek idhar और एक उधर. You will have a Kana lion. Okay, and then finally I'll add the little bit of pink for the nose. I'm just going to take a little bit of, this is candy floss pink. Although whenever I'm making things such as this, I use blush pink, but today I don't have blush pink, I have candy floss pink. This is too pink, so I'm going to add a little bit of brown to this. dilute it a bit because it's not going to be like a inky pinky ponky color. It's not like a painted pink color. It's going to be like just a hint of flesh tone. And always blend the margins. Even when you're doing makeup, the number one thing your makeup artist is going to tell you is blend the margin so that the colors sort of gently blend into each other. They shouldn't look like they're painted on. And there you go. You want me to show you hand painting on the panel because this basically covered everything that I wanted to show you about hand painting with Evaporex. I wish in real life there were emojis like, right now I could put those little hearts over my eyes. Oh. Huh? Alright, any questions regarding airbrushing? Petal dust and Evaporex, and then you paint on. Whatever design you want, you just paint on. See, if you want a specific kind of a design, say you're doing a portrait or you're doing a particular kind of a flower, the thing I do mostly is that I take a printout of the pattern that I want to paint. Okay. Once I have the printout, I keep it on the panel, on the cake where I want to paint it, and I outline it using a Dresden tool or a cell stick. And then take off the paper. I have the lines on the cake and I just fill it in with the colors. If you want to make a lighter color, like I said, mix with your titanium dioxide to get the whitish colored tones. If you want just basic pink, like a transcendent sheer pink, just use pink petal dust mixed with Evaporex. I tell you the difference. What happens is, if I just take a color, say I have here African violet. If I just take it and I mix it with Evaporex, I'll get a sheer color like this. It gives me a block color. There's a subtle difference. Can you make it out? Wait. I don't paint on whipping cream, so I don't know. It gives you different shades. It gives you different shades. If you use only petal dust mixed with Evaporex, you can get a little transparency. If you and with white, you get a little opaque color, solid color. And that's the difference.
Sorry, can I come and interrupt?
Absolutely.
So we have finally